afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the Amazons and Afripreneur interview series from the stable of Agbari Multimedia Company. Here we showcase and celebrate Amazons and Afripreneurs in the Africa continent. Our mission, of course, like I always say, is to inspire you into greatness as we celebrate the winning Amazons and Afripreneurs in Africa. If you have any questions, kindly drop them in the comment section. And I have a very loaded guest today, a seriously loaded guest, and I know you'd learn. I'll go on a short break, after which I'll bring her on. Please stay tuned. Today, I'm here with an Amazon that has distinguished herself in the African continent, like I said, and around the world. I'll go on a little break while we listen to her bio. Please stay tuned.
Anyiam-Osigwe is a Nigerian filmmaker and entertainment executive, also known as the Queen of Nollywood. She has a law degree from Oxford Brookes in the UK and was a talk show host for a few years. Anyiam-Osigwe founded the African Film Academy, a body that governs the film ceremony since 2005. The award ceremony is reputed to be one of the most recognized awards for Africans in filmmaking. At the 10th edition, she stepped down as CEO of the African Movie Academic Awards, AMA. In 2015, she began the African One initiative to commemorate Africans in the entertainment industry. In 2020, she emerged as the national president of the Association of Movie Producers, AMP. Anyiam-Osigwe is the initiator of Onward Films projects aimed at improving the quality of films produced in Nigeria. As the president, she has worked on building capacities of film producers in the country through seminars and trainings. Anyiam-Osigwe is an author of written poetry. She has 3 books to her credits. She described poetry as one of the avenues for expressing her perception and understanding of things around her. In 2019, she was honored with African Film Pioneer Award at the African Film Festival. She has developed several national and continental programs and initiatives to bridge the gap with African film industry and the global communities. Peace Anyiam-Osigwe is a visionary leader and a catalyst for change in the African film industry. She's an African Amazon World celebrating.
Madam Peace Anyiam-Osigwe, welcome to the Amazons and Afripreneurs interview series. Welcome again, ma'am.
Thank you
I'm
for
so
having
honored
me.
to be able to interview you twice, at least in a short while. 6 years ago and today.
Oh well,
Yes, ma'am.
it must be very. I'm sure most people will tell you it's hard to catch me for interviews. It's one
It
of the
is.
things I run away from.
Okay,
I'm one
I
of
was
those
listening.
people. I'm
Okay.
one of those people. I find it really difficult to do interviews. So when anybody catches me, I'm like, oh, here we go again.
No, but you have such an intimidating profile. I always say, I said it when you came on your view, and I'll say it again today. Everything about movie, where we were in the past in Hollywood and where we are today, I can say with a level of responsibility that we can give credit to you. You've impacted. And so, because on this series, what we do is inspire young ladies, young people
Yeah.
across Africa with the stories of the most successful African Amazons and Afripreneurs across board. You're one of the stories that we must share on this show. So I'm happy, even though you're difficult to catch, that we were able to catch you. So thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. And I'd like to start with
Thank
the
you.
smallest question. This is a question I would have taken the risk to answer. But just tell us a little bit of you, something that we don't know, what is not out there, what is not on Google, because you're just Google search away, and it's a whole book on itself, on its own on Google.
I think people don't know a lot about my spiritual side, that I'm very prayerful. And sometimes people say, how do you cope? And I said, I have learned to pray a lot. And I think that's the one side of me a lot of people don't know, or they just assume that because you're in an industry that is all show business, you are in the show and you don't have a backbone. But because of my dad, my prayer life is actually one of my biggest strengths. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me sane and balanced a lot of the time. Can you hear me?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. I know you're a lawyer, and I
Yeah.
know that you've been able to put together one of the best movie awards. It can match with any of its kind in the international space. In this continent, you have been able to do that every year. Aside other movie awards, I look forward to the AMA awards. That's where we know who is who in the industry.
Mm,
But considering that we have biases against women who are in this profession, who are in any profession anyway, not to talk of movie business, movie making business, how have you been able to keep it together? Share with us, how what strategy you've used to keep it together, so someone listening can learn, can borrow from that.
I think one of the things is I separated myself from the jury system of the award. So the jury and the screening system of AMA are totally different. And then those of us that do the marketing and the structure of the program are totally different. And then I work with a team. And if your team understands you, you don't have as much problems. And if you find that along the way any of your team doesn't understand you, please let go of that team member and get another team player who will understand the process of what you're trying to do at any time. I think that's the most important thing. Is that you always work with people who believe in your dreams and in your team.
You've just confirmed what I know about you. You're a person of discipline. You believe in standards, and we see standards being lowered every day in Africa. You, as a producer, an entrepreneur, a founder, you have exemplified standards in all your work. How do we bring back
I try.
excellence into our daily lives in Africa?
I think our value systems have to start from us going back to our mothers and our mothers beginning to play the role that they used to play. You know, I think a lot of mothers have let go because of their busy schedules. And I always tell people that my value system is very dependent on my mother and my father and the things that they imbibed in me when I was much younger. And I feel that mothers should learn to go back to those value systems, no matter how hard it is out there. You know, if you tell children, do this, clean the house, make sure you go to school on time, do well in your school, read your books, pray, make sure that they go to, have some kind of spiritual background and be part of that. Come home. When you come home, don't be too tired to open your child's book. I remember coming back from boarding school in England, and my mom would actually come into my room and say, "Don't unpack your suitcase till I get there." And I said, "Okay, mom." And she would go through my suitcase with my dad and check everything. And if there's anything in my suitcase that they don't know how I got it, I have to explain. And so things like that, made you aware that if you can't explain where you got something from, you're going to get into my mom's bad books. And dad would make sure you return it and tell him exactly who gave it to you.
Give it
And
to you.
you weren't, if somebody gave you money, you have to tell your parents who, even if you're going to collect it, even if it's your auntie or your uncle. All those things are gone now. People just value money. And my father used to tell me, invest in people more because people are worth more than any amount of money you're going to have.
I
So I
love that
think, I
that you
think
brought it
most of the
home.
time, yeah,
Please go
my
on.
mom has to. My mom will tell me if I come back from school and she may find something she thinks I can't afford. She'll say, "How did you get this? Who gave it to you?" And then, like, I'll explain, explain, explain.
To
If it's
account
not
for
from
it.
somebody she understands, I have to return it. Or when I go back to school, she'll warn the Reverend sisters for me. So yeah, there's been issues.
So you brought it home to parenting, and you've even streamlined it to the closest to the child, part time, who is
Yeah,
usually the mother in our own society. So thank you
yeah.
so much, ma. I'd like to digest this, go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue.
Okay.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back. I still have with me Miss Peace Anyiam-Osigwe. Thank you for staying, for coming on the show today, ma'am. Earlier I asked that, I said, what strategies did you use, to achieve this exceptional success that you've had so far in this industry, this very, very big, huge industry that we have now? I'd like you to share, because in Nigeria we hear a lot of success stories. We don't know the plan, the process, how do they, we just hear, I woke up like this, I invested 10,000 and I have a 10 million overnight. No strategies.
No,
Can you please help us share with us strategies, risk, challenges that you have to face daily, and the strategies that you use to, to confront each and every one of them to the success that you have now?
you have to do, you write your proposal, you keep knocking on doors till somebody somewhere sees that vision that you have. In this case, I was just opportune to go with my brothers to a meeting they were going to with one of the governors of what is it called, Bayelsa that year. And he said to me, will this bring people to the Niger Delta? And I had like 5 minutes to sell Alma and explain what it was. Later on, he saw the vision. And then he said, okay, talk to my commissioner, which I did. And then we started writing proposals with the state. But one of the things is that you have to just keep knocking. It's not everybody that sees the vision. And you have to be patient. Money is not easy to get or for people to part with money. Make sure your budgets are realistic and also be doing your own work so that you can have some funds to complement what anybody is giving you. I'm a serial entrepreneur, as you see me. So sometimes when Amma doesn't have, I will take from somewhere else to make sure I do the
It
Amma.
is.
That's the continuity. I tell a lot of young girls, invest, invest, invest. Forget
Yes.
all this. I must wear the best dresses. I must drive the best cars. Those are artificial wealth. Get used to investing in that land in Ikorodu or the one in Iwejuleki. That 200,000 naira bag you want to carry, that's a piece of land. Sometimes I'll get money from my brothers to fly business. They actually call me Jebu in my house. I will use it and buy what is it called, a piece of land and fly economy. And then they will be laughing. I tell people I own bakeries. They don't understand. I do. That's daily bread. I like getting money from a series of small businesses. I sell Ankara. That's my mom's business. She was a distributor for the Ankara fabrics. Even when I was in London in school, I used to make cushion covers, jewelry, aquatic. I'm really I make soap, I make hair products. Even when I got sick with my skin problem, I learned how to use organic products. So I actually have a range I've come up with for skin. And I'm actually going to launch that on my birthday in March. And I've used it, so I know that it heals. And it's all our natural products. So I always say to young girls, don't be in a hurry to follow the crowd. Find your own pathway. Make your own style. If you see me, I wear my Ankara, I'll dress it up, I'll go where I'm going.
Yes.
I can afford a lot of things, but it doesn't make me who I am. I am who I am because I know where I'm coming from. I don't need to be flashy. About 4 years ago, I decided that I'll only be using Nigerian designers for bags, and I had, there's some beautiful people out there making lovely bags and shoes in Nigeria, so that I don't waste my money when I travel so much. Sometimes if I travel, yes, I'll buy some unique stuff, but if you like, call me Jebu. I am.
That's real. I must say, well done. I've just been inspired listening to you. To every success, there's a process behind, and I love that. I love the entrepreneurial spirit. I love that you said be persistent at what you believe in. If you knock on one door, doesn't open, keep knocking. Don't just give up and say this is not working and you go. I hope our
Yeah, and be
listeners are
patient.
learning. I hope
And be
they're
patient.
learning. Yes,
I hope
patience.
they be patient. Yeah, patience and don't give up.
Don't give
And
up.
don't be afraid to try. Even if you try once, you fail, try again.
Try
Be
again.
fine.
Wow. I'd love to hear more about your passion about building capacity in the movie industry because you started
Or
a platform, an award that celebrates the excellence of this industry. Share with
for
us,
me, training is the
your
key to
passion.
the next generation. Training is the key to the success of the next generation of the next African filmmaker. I think that's even why I ran for the presidency of the Association of Movie Producers, is to be able to structure the Nigerian producers in such a way that they'll start making money from the work that they do. So training them, making them understand how to do a budget, how to go from script to screen. That's like, for me right now, that's what wakes me up. Planning the next training program, listening to the young people, making sure that they don't make the mistakes we made in the past, that they read their contracts, that they make sure they have contracts, that they don't just sign away their lives. That for me is the major, major thing that I keep doing for the next generation of young people.
Thank you, Ma. Now, this advice, read your contracts, doesn't apply to just the movie industry.
No, it's
In
everything.
anything
It's
in life you
everything.
do, read between the lines.
As a
You have
young
to.
lady, yeah, as a young lady or a young person starting out, especially for young girls. I mean, even if you look at what's happening with trafficking, I'm taking you to London. Okay, we're going to go through Egypt. They don't have any documentation. They have nothing to show. They don't see their ticket. They part with humongous amounts of money, and then you keep getting it into your face. And I keep saying to this young girl, there are so many things you can be doing in Nigeria to make money. Nigeria has 200 million people. The film industry has 100,000 customers giving you 10 naira a day. You'll survive. Just find it. Don't be. It's not that easy outside. I grew up outside. And yeah, a lot of people paint pictures that I want to get to London, everything is okay. I tell them it's not like that. I lived there from when I was seven and a half, eight to when I was almost 30. So I know the difference. And it's just about consistency. If you're determined, you will find something that makes you unique in the Nigerian space. And then you remember we have now the internet and the social media space that helps you to sell to the world. So you begin small, you will grow. I tell people, even with my mom's fabric business, which was in Balogun Market, I moved it online. So we actually sell more from our Facebook shop than we sell when we had the shop in Balogu for mommy. Do you know what I mean? So I think that I always tell young girls, don't be in a hurry to run away from you.
In a hurry.
Um, just be determined. That's for me is important.
I'd like to quickly jump from this because listening to you now, I feel that those not watching, those who are not trying to pick off people like you, because you need to understudy someone so you don't make some mistakes that are avoidable. You can learn from other people's experience. What is your definition of success, and what would you consider failure?
For me, success is whatever makes you happy. Just be happy. Find your happiness moment. It's not measured by how many cars you have, or I always tell people you can't drive in more than one car. You can't sleep in more than one bed. And to be honest with you, all this came home to me when my father passed on. When daddy passed on, there's nothing we put in his grave. Do you understand? We didn't put any car, we didn't put any house, we didn't put any watch. But what amazed me was the people that came out to honor my
The
father.
impact he made on others.
Eh, yes, the humanity, the number of people, his friends, the northerners that came from Kano, Kaduna, Katsina by road overnight, the women that trekked from their villages. And what was that? Daddy was training their children in school, doing this, doing that. You would have expected big, big people, but nah, that wasn't dad. That was different. The same thing with my mom, bless her. It's her birthday in a few weeks. She's over 90. And if you give her money now, she's going to share it to all the widows everywhere. So for me, levels of success is actually whatever makes me happy at that moment. Failure for me is if I've done something and I've not gotten it right and then I give up. But I've learned not to give up. I've learned to just keep trying. One way or the other, it will happen. May not happen the way I want it, but it will happen.
It will happen
And
eventually.
that's why I said that the other side of me that most people don't know about is prayer.
Great.
If you believe, God will help.
Thank you so much, Ma. But I will not let you go. Not yet. I know that you published your first article before nine, by 9, I think, Punch newspapers.
Yes.
Then you started the
Yes.
magazine. So most people don't know. This is what I want you to do now. An 18-year-old is listening. She wants to be a
Yeah.
peace. Anyiam-Osigwe. How, what books should she read? What sacrifices should she make? How does she move from law to movies? Share what advice would you give an 18-year-old following your footpath?
I would say study hard, then do your passion. Do what makes you wake up every morning. Find that thing that gingers you. Don't just do a job that or go and read a course that you don't have any interest in. Even if it is hairdressing you want to do, make sure that when you remember you have a client's hair to make the next morning, it will make you wake up in the morning. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Find your passion, find that makes you uh, wake up, what will make you jump up from your bed. Once you find that, key into it, and then do anything that will help you to succeed in that thing. And never give up. But also, whatever you believe in, pray. That's all I'll say. Be you Muslim, Christian, atheist. I mean, some people say there is no God. I am here to tell them there is a God.
Praise
It's up
God.
to you how you get to it. Do you understand?
Thank
I'm
you
not
so
telling you to go
much.
to church. I'm not telling you not to go to church. Just find
Find God.
your center. Yeah, find your center. Find that moment in you that you can quietly meditate towards what you want and go forward.
You know, your counsel has been most impactful for me, and I hope that those listening to are enjoying this. I must say thank you, and on behalf of Agbari Multimedia and myself, we say a very big thank you for your time and your impactful counsel
Okay.
today. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the show. I did learn so much.
Thank,
I hope all our listeners will be sharing this on our YouTube channel, follow us on our social media platform, listen to this interview.
thank,
This will change you.
thank,
And I must say, find your center. I learned that. I learned to be persistent. And the solution to the drop in standards today in our world is parenting. Our
yeah,
mothers must get back to that role. Let's stop the distraction that come with all this advocacy,
yeah.
different
And
distractions.
you know the thing is, it takes a village to raise a child. So even if
Yeah,
you see your neighbor's child doing something wrong, correct that
yes,
child because tomorrow is
yes.
pregnant.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. I did
Thank
enjoy the
you.
interview. Thank you. I hope when we call you next time, we'll not be pursuing you.
No, no,
But I don't mind running
no,
after
no,
you.
no.
Yeah, I don't
No
mind at
problem.
all. Thank you, Ma.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
All right, Ma. So just let you and to our fans, those of you listening, and to the Agbari Multimedia family out there, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you. Till I come your way again, I am Nima Kashat Zibiri. Be inspired by this interview and get ready to be the next Amazon and Afripreneur to be celebrated on the show.
Bonanle, I'm not fine at all. Why? It's like I'm dying slowly.
Madam, from the result I have here, we only diagnosed influenza. What were you trying to do?
I was going to ask Google.
What gave you the impetus, the audacity to do this? A receptionist in my hospital? Now your brother is here? On an emergency?
You know, this is COVID period, and which is why I'm wearing my face mask. I don't even know if I have COVID. I think you should just get COVID test done.
Get out! Out!
But when my result came back, it showed that my white blood cell was on low normal.
First of all of us, it's medical jargons, okay?
And I almost committed suicide.
While I'm alive, that's not happening.